Hi and welcome. My name is Uzezi Udwefe Ideho, and this is The Breakfast Show on TSL Nigeria TV.
Welcome. According to the Finance Act 2020, recently signed into law by President Muhammadu Buhari, unclaimed dividends and bank account balances unattended to for at least 6 years will be made available as special credit to the federal government through the Unclaimed Funds Trust Fund. Now, this information brought about a lot of questions by Nigerians. For the clarity we so seek, we are joined today on The Breakfast Show by Barrister Abako Afam, a legal aid, a legal practitioner and a public servant with the Legal Counsel Aid of Nigeria. You're welcome to the show, sir.
My appreciation.
Thank
God
you
bless you.
coming.
Thank you for the opportunity.
How are you doing today, sir?
Glory be to God. Glory be to God.
So I want to know how this amendment in the Act met you.
Well, we're not surprised. We're existing in a polity where anything can happen. In terms of policies, in terms of rules and regulations, anything can happen. It has become a norm. So if you are saying you are shocked by it, it means you are existing outside this polity. For anyone who exists in the polity should be aware and should be ready to welcome anything. It can come from any side.
But sir, is that the way it's supposed to be?
Well,
Are there no checks? The government brings out a law, an act matured into a law. Are there no checks to say this is not right?
Well, there's a popular saying in my community that the thought of a madman may not seem insane in his sight. You see, the issue you are talking about is borders on the ideology of the person who is spearheading an administration. Okay. What may be discretionally acceptable in your sight may not be comfortable to me. Okay. So it's a matter of ideology and beliefs. Well, there are opportunities or there are regulations or legal regimes for checks and balances. But of course, we've seen instances where such measures were also, they colluded to facilitate a very unpopular policy. That's my view.
Okay, sir, just during the week, we did one of our programs, TSL on the Go, and we actually talked about it. And I forwarded the message to a friend of mine in diaspora. When he looked at the video, he was like, maybe I don't touch my money, you know? And I was wondering, like, that boils to the question I want to ask now. Now, what are the far-reaching effects of the new policy on the average Nigeria if instituted, especially those in diaspora that are unable to access their accounts?
Well, the nomenclature, the designation of the policies present it to look as if they are taking loan. But to me, it goes beyond that. I'm talking about my opinion. Okay. You can't take a facility from a person without his consent and approval. Okay. Yeah. If you go because you are in a place of authority, you are there to make law, and you make a law to circumvent my right, as it were, as accommodated in the Constitution. Would that be said to be right? Would that be justiciable? So the effect is going to orchestrate hardship. It's going to work great and gross injustice. It's going to make people lose faith in the government. It's going to create poverty. It's going to lead to depression, emotional problems. Yes. Now, because there are underlying reasons why most of these funds are dormant. Yes.
Just like before you came on set, myself and Face were discussing, and even Mrs. Aisha, we're all discussing, and we're made to understand that some people just save money for the rainy days.
Of course.
Some people keep money in accounts for 10 years, 12 years. You know, Faith was saying that most people in China who stay in diaspora, as it is, you know, just want to work there for a while, come back, save money here, and maybe retire in Nigeria. So when I heard this, I was shocked because I don't see why the government will take my money without my consent.
That's stealing. That's stealing.
Okay.
That's stealing. You can't take You know, stealing is...
And you tell me that when I want the money back...
We respect Caesar. If you're taking my thing without my consent, the elementary definition of stealing is that.
Okay.
That is it. If you formulate a policy, you get it assented, and it passes through the process of time, and you come to enforce it. And you've seen that, you know, we know in primary administrative or policy class that in every policy there are losers, there are people who gain. Okay. But you should look at the number of persons who are supposed to gain. Every policy should be targeted at the greatest number of persons. Now, there are administrative, legitimate reasons why accounts are dormant. Yes. Now, there are cases that are subsisting in court. Now, these cases maybe borders on accounts, and the accounts are maybe dormant. Okay. And there are legal regimes saying, oh, this account is here for a particular reason. Will such account will also be tagged as a dormant account that these laws will apply to? The question belongs to them. You see, they need to reevaluate this policy. Yes. Because of the perceived injustice going to work. Yes. There are persons whose accounts are there, maybe by virtue of the fact that they are incapacitated health-wise. Some of them are mentally challenged. Okay. Would you not go to borrow from a man who is in a psychiatric hospital without his consent, by factors or by circumstances not of his own fault? We need to look at it.
Yes. So it's quite sad because as Nigerians, or as a Nigerian, let me speak for myself, I've seen myself struggle for everything.
Of course.
Everything from the generating set to produce electricity for myself. For the bad road network education, I had to, you know, go to school and deal with all of the strikes from ASU and the federal government.
Which is still ongoing.
Yes, which is even still ongoing. And I managed to get a job that was not even given to me by the government. And I am saving money for myself, and the government wakes up one day and say they want to take this money without my consent. Now, after all that said, what measures are being put in place right now to ensure that this does not take effect? Because a lot of people are quiet about this because they do not know the implication of what is coming. They don't know what's about to hit them. So what do you think can be done at this time, at this point, to ensure that this does not take effect?
Well, I appreciate this. Now, this has opened down to the first thing I've considered. Now, it is important. Knowledge is very vital. You see, as a student of the Bible, it's important that if you don't have, it said, Hosea 4:6, my people perish for lack of knowledge. The absence of knowledge is colossal. A man who does not have access to knowledge is a man who has given up his right. In fact, a right you are not aware that it exists, you can't enforce. Now, what you are talking, we need to enlighten the public as to what does it mean for an account to be dormant? Okay. 2, what qualifies an account to be dormant? Yes. These issues need to be dissected to a layman so that they can understand. Now, what does it mean for an account to qualify as a dormant account?
Yes, because we were talking about it and I was like, okay, I know an account is dormant when you don't, there's
absence of activities.
You don't pay in and you don't receive, you don't credit, you don't debit.
But Faith was saying,
credit their account and now they're tagging it as dormant.
Because Faith was saying that she had an account
with one of the commercial banks. That was during my service year. And transaction was ongoing, but I was not withdrawing. So I went to finally withdraw, and they told me on the counter, my account is dormant. Now, there was nothing I could do because even if I go to meet the manager of the bank, he will still tell me the same thing. What would I do next? And they handed me a form, and they had to debit 2,000.
Of course. So
reactivate my account.
You see, you've captured the injustice that is prevalent. Even the banks are conniving to perpetuate, to you to explore this ignorance and punish Nigeria. Even yours sincerely, I'm also a victim, irrespective of myself if my professional call. You see, there are instances I've had opportunity to quarrel with them. I say, look, if not for anything, I went back on a frivolous suit against you to make sure that I put you on check. By the time you pay a lawyer, mobilize a lawyer to go and enter defense for you or to enter legal representation for you in lieu of the suit, it's only the court that will determine if is frivolous. In fact, it's my job. I will provide for myself, or my wife will provide for me. She's a lawyer. I will make sure I deploy the arsenals to go against you. Then you pay. Now, what happens is that Nigerians are helpless. The financial institutions are not helping us.
Okay.
The government, whose primary responsibility it is to protect us, are not protecting us. Now, who do we run to? Now, just relate it to what just happened, the EndSARS saga.
Okay.
You could see that it's a protest against an insensitive government. It's a whole lot of issues. The EndSARS is just the normal calling a dog a bad name to kill. The police, I tell you, it's not only the one working injustice against people. There are other corporate entities, governmental agencies who are also perpetuating injustice. That also need to be done, including ourselves. We need to evaluate ourselves. Now, when you get to bank, you see some persons you are queuing. Some people are on queue. Somebody comes out, he breaks the queue. What are we perpetuating? These are the challenges we are saying. Now, Nigerians need to be enlightened. When we say that an account is dormant, what does it mean? It means the absence of activity. That's what they will tell you. They don't go after to enlighten you. The bank does not know their rules. I'm a customer. A customer you have is a king. That's the elementary
for business.
Banners for business. You come, nobody takes it as a responsibility to say, okay, let me enlighten you as your right as a customer of the bank. You do not tell them, somebody feels he's saving money only to come after 4 years. You are telling the person that the account he pays him money to is dormant because he has not withdrawn. That is, now most times they say, oh, it's CBN rule, it's financial act. Where's financial act? It's financial act of 2020. Let me tell everybody, people don't know. In 2 days' time, the financial act will be 1 year. It was accepted on the 13th of January 2020. People are not aware. Now, before this act was signed into law, there was a public hearing. I tell you that most of the legislators are not even aware. They did not do their job. They say we elected them. No, we did not elect them. Some of them, they know how they got their votes.
Found their way in.
That is why they've abdicated their duty. They go there to sleep. Some of them go there to speak big for the glamour. Some of them will tell you they go there for different purposes. Now, they smuggle this law to perpetuate this level of injustice against Nigeria. And those Nigerians in diaspora will make returns to you also as a government. How can they suffer from double ways? Whether you are taking it as a facility or not, it is working out a great injustice. What does it mean? Now, if some of them hear this now and run back to Nigeria and start moving their money back, what will you feel? Are you destroying your economy? Yes. Are you building your economy? These are a whole lot of issues. Ordinarily, I'm not disposed to this kind of discussion because I feel what is the essence. For me to come here, dissipate energy and talk, who is listening to you? Who is going to work with it? We are good talkers, we are not good executors. You know, talk is cheap. Every man can claim to have effort, but one distinguished effort is result. You can, yes, the Bible said it. Show me your faith without works. Anybody can claim anything. But when you lack results, or God, your effort is zero. And this is so bad because even the banks are not creating awareness for customers to know what is going on. Yeah. They have benefited from it immensely. So when an account is dormant, there are charges. You make charges, you debit. There are activities. Yes. Yeah. What constitutes absence of activity in an account? Let's go down. Now, let me remind you, people don't know. If you look at chapter 4 of the 1999 Constitution as amended, specifically, if you look at section 42, 43, and 44, section 43 empowers Nigerians to own properties, immovable properties. Section 43, that's what. Now, section 44, sub 1, restrains, frowns at anybody trying to restrain or compel people to take over people's property, just like the government is about trying to do now. Section 43, sub 1, frowns at it. You cannot compulsorily take over somebody's right on a party, on a movable property. It frowns at that. So they know you made an act. This act is not the ground norm. You have made an act that is subject that cannot be override. The content of that act cannot be override by the Constitution. That does owning an account in a bank, does it not constitute a property? My account is my property.
Okay.
So section 43 has provided that I have got such right to own a property as a Nigerian. To own an account. Now section 44, someone restrains any person, government, from compulsory takeover of such properties. But unfortunately, these laws, we don't know our rights. Some people are going to be victims of this and nothing will happen.
It's terrible.
So,
the sad thing is, sorry, Lizzie, the sad thing is most of us actually know our rights. But
it's
the
energy. Because you know how it's going to end.
Exasperating. It's very stressful to seek justice in Nigeria.
Yes.
Well, I empathize with you on that opinion. The reality is that there are a lot of factors that facilitate justice.
Okay.
Now, if you watch very well, a judgment was delivered by Federal High Court on Saturday as regards the certificate forgery allegation against the governor of Edo State. Now, if you look at it, you see, you won't understand if you are not an active participant in the process of law. There are a lot of factors that inhibits the speedy expeditory hearing of matters.
Okay.
But I've told people, no matter, Justice Chukwudi of blessed memory said, yes, the wind of justice may be slow, but gradually it gets there. Now, those factors can be eliminated. I agree with you, but are we ready to confront it? That's another thing. It arises from the lawyers' intentional legal approach. Some of us, we want to resort to some legal manipulations. We call it buying of time. Well, of course, when we see that maybe a matter is not going so the process to justice should not deter you if you are confident. Now, I tell people that's also one of the reasons the Act established Legal Aid Council. But unfortunately, people don't know that you can even access free legal services from these governmental agencies.
Oh, really?
Yes, people are not aware. Legal Aid Council have been existing for over 35 years.
Oh.
But I tell you that some people are 40 years, they are not aware of Legal Aid Council of Nigeria. This is the challenge. And you cannot give what you don't have. The knowledge you cannot access. You cannot even, gain from the privileges that come from it. So, your case, I empathize with you, but in the interim, there's nothing. That's what we have. If this is the only option, we don't have resilient and die-hard litigants. The only part where I see it is from my side in Delta State. You see an honorable man, he has a matter. He's committed to the process till the end. But unfortunately, we make so much noise, and that's why things are not happening. That's why everybody is commending the Earth Science protest and the protagonists who had shown resilience. We are easily deterred. Nigerians, we should demonstrate. Even the Igbos, they have that characteristics. I'm very, very. They have that. Their dogma in business. You see them. You see an Igbo man. He starts from the road. He starts trading from the road from little by little.
To two stores, and he has a line.
Deploy the same measure in litigation, because that is what we have now. You will see so many things will start changing. Yeah, the government, we have seen them, but they are not willing, except that push. So, but you cannot, if you abandon food for a fool, you eat it all. He will not bother about you. If there's a bowl of food here now for all of us, and the food is here, and I get angry and leave it for him, he's not bothered about my discussion. So this should be what informs the attitude of every litigant. If you know your right has been breached, the legal maxim, people don't even think what is to be just should be remedium. When there's a wrong, there must be a right. But unfortunately, we don't sit down to evaluate it. We are distracted. Now, to worsen the situation, the era of social media, we can spend 6 hours, 8 hours on social media without doing anything useful for ourselves. You didn't ask yourself, I've been on WhatsApp, I've been on Instagram. In what way? What is my returns? You bought what? Listen, we are not diverting from the topic, but what will empower you to be resilient? I rather pursue this thing to the end, or I don't, nothing. You can't take any other option.
Coming in there, sir, you know, wrapping up because of time, really. The average Nigerian has just seen that the government is out to, let me say, frustrate the efforts of the people, because this is just a clear example, you know. And truth is, the average man on the street, the market woman, the woman who is saving for her children's education, maybe a market woman who is struggling to say, I'm saving up for my child when he enters university, does not even know the implication of what is going on. What channels do you think should reach out to these people?
Oh, of course, there should be an awareness campaign. People should go to court. That a policy is from government does not mean that the government cannot be challenged.
Okay.
People should go to court. If you are, if tomorrow somebody that I know that owns an account and the government say they borrowed from it without, I will file an action and I will claim against the government. Churches should participate in awareness campaign. You see, you cannot, in the process of trying to amend something, the truth is that the government is stranded. The truth is that our economic status is at zero. You see, where over dependency on one sector has narrowed down the alternatives, and this is where we are.
Wow.
Coronavirus came, the effect is going to be more. It's biting hard. The government is showing people cannot see what is happening. Now they are borrowing from dormant accounts. Very soon there are going to be some laws that also they will make, because that will not be sufficient. A man whose overtime, whose salary is not enough for him to take care of his needs, is the overtime that you pay him that will be enough for him?
That's hard enough, but that's all we can take, sir. We sincerely hope that things get better for Nigeria.
That's everybody's prayer.
As the day passes by, you know, we hear things, we see things, and we just hope that the average Nigerian will be resilient, like Mr. Afamon said today. But that'll be all we can take on the breakfast show. Please do also follow us on all our socials. That's TSL Nigeria TV, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel, TSL Nigeria TV. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of the day.
Stay connected to TSL Nigeria and get updates on the go all day, every day. Subscribe to our YouTube channel on TSL Nigeria Space TV and join our online family.